Hello everybody and welcome to a new episode of the TypeScript Tea Time. I'm your host Mirko and wish you a warm welcome. Today, we're gonna get started kind of immediately as soon as I hear myself. Yeah, okay, sound is good. So last week we kind of stopped. Let me just open this thumbnail from last week. We kind of stopped there. Give me just a sec to cover everything here. There we go. We kind of stopped right there. Animal Sasha visited us and we played around against this Dark Mantle, which at that point only had kind of the default monster, which is just a blob. But this time we are going to change, I think, like most of the monsters that we have. We have like 200 monsters or 250 maybe in our list, and for 150 up to counting errors or 170s because as a mathematician I cannot count correctly. There are definitely counting errors inside of my list. Up to 170 or 150 I actually added different monsters to each and every one. So what we are going to do today is also try a new little thing that I have set up, which is that I can add to-dos on stream so that we can actually see it. So say hello everybody in the chat. If you're there, let me know what you are working on. I'm very curious which kind of technologies you're learning and what kind of projects, or just how you're doing. So for today, the things that we want to do, let me go to my old to-do list that we are now going to move to the new to-do list essentially. So we had this. So last time we added monster assets. Depending on the monster, we pick a specific asset. And we will continue kind of there because I did this chore of filling in a lot of monster details, which now looks like monsters like this. For example, the owl bear uses the key Dragoran, which is connected to some specific image. In this case, it's Dragoran. It's this little dude. All of these images are actually in the public domain. This one I'm not 100% sure. I think, because this dragon package was actually by a couple of people. Among them definitely was Red Shrike, but this might be not from Red Shrike, but from another person. We'll see. So thanks to all of these amazing people who make this possible. Let's see. Joseph Seraph, more Joseph Seraph, Stephen Challoner, aka Red Shrike, or Stephen, Mr. Beast, Sword, Blarumirin. I should have practiced this probably. Sham, Zabin. Zabin is actually a Final Fantasy VI character, if I'm not mistaken. At least in German. Yes. Lancel and Clem. So if you're interested in any of the packages, so most of them are with CC BY. Some even are in CC0, so we wouldn't even need to credit them. But I do think that all of these people, these amazing people, do deserve some credit. Needhogger for the amazing backgrounds that I'm also want to do maybe today. Look at it. The background is great. So you can all of that you can find in the GitHub, which was just posted by Stream Elements. Thank you, Stream Elements. So and then inside of acknowledgement or under the README for the images, if you're interested in using any of these, because they are pretty amazing. So let's go back to our previous position. which was not here. Thank you. I think the owl. The owl bear, yeah. So it has this drag around picture. It also gets a scale, which is not yet used. And it gets actually a tint. So if we tinting, meaning we essentially add a color on top of it. So we add a color value to every single value, or multiply. One of both. And it can be either. I'm not sure which one we are actually using right now. We're just using the default. So if we start all of this fun stuff, and I'm actually in debug mode, which I am, we can look at our little friend here. Saved. And then oh, my mouse just broke again. Okay, so strange enough, my mouse breaks like only on stream. Everything else, when I'm gaming and stuff, everything is fine, but when I'm on stream, for whatever reason, it fails. So that's the fire snake. I have not saved, I think. Here it is. So we load this drag around image. We are not currently applying the tint. It would look something like this, although this is currently a different tint that we use. So with this we can darken it, or we can well, we cannot brighten it, but you can change its color, for example, to this blue ice dragonish, or into a more darker evil dragon if we want to. We could also increase the alpha here, the opacity, or decrease, and give it some damage. Oh, it died, I think. In any event, so that's where we're going to continue. That's where we're going to continue. Let me just make kind of this list a little nicer. 50, 100, 150, maybe I think 200 is the next milestone, and then all. So we do have this one. This I'm still working on. So one thing that was necessary to make this just humanly possible is that we determine the sprite dimensions automatically. So each of these sprites actually has a different size, and at first basically you can see here edit the numbers, so I can type them in manually, but that was just not feasible on this scale. So what I did instead is use the magic of Phaser.io, Phaser3, and I think in the monster we see that we here we go. Right here, sorry. So all of these plain images are called textures in Phaser, and we get us the texture that we currently have for the monster. So I'm in the monster class here right now, and then we can get image width and image heights essentially of this texture, which allows us to essentially programmatically determine the dimensions. And then we normalize it so that it's 300 pixels on screen. And about this. And now what we want is add also some scaling here and other stuff. Let's get to it. So we do have this one done. And now I'm going to use our new fun stuff here. Tinting, or apply tint from JSON. Bams! There we have our to-dos. So you can see up here, over there. We now have our to-do list. Yay! That's the new highlight of our stream currently. I did that on the weekend. We also want to have to do apply the scaling from JSON. So kind of a data-driven approach. Up here we have data-driven. And that said, I think I do have some things that actually use the alpha. So we also want that one. Then we have, so these are our 3 to-dos, and then we have one more that I'm aiming to do today, which is this guy here. People or adventure, actually all of them, huh? What? Sprites in foreground. Let's see. So what I want is that when a character is in the back in the image, like realistically speaking, it should also be rendered behind other people. In background, get covered by foreground. Something like that. Okay, so let's get started with the first one, which is the tint. Yes, there we go. Tint should probably go to the top, if I think about it. So I'm also aiming to make this list slightly better. I'll put it inside here, Mirko. Just a second, I just take a note here. So the doing on top list all writers. Yeah. Let's get back to our friend here. So that said, we don't really need this one anymore, I hope. Although it's still nice to have an overview. We also have a Trello board which is actually public. It looks like this. Currently these are just some ideas. These are the to-dos that we that you also see right here to the right. There. Sorry. And the doing one is the green one. So all of this gets actually nicely moved also to Trello. I find just one of the best tools out there to test. Okie dokie, let's get to it. So first thing we're going to do is read the tint. Let's look at the tint again. So we have something like this, the hex number. So basically RGB inside of here. And we want to read it out of this configuration and apply it probably on construction. So inside of the monster, we already get the correct sprite right here. What we could do is maybe move this one somewhere else. That normalized size. Yeah. So here we get the config. Let me take this one and say third config. Does TypeScript understand that this one is now defined after this? I think it won't. If we put this one inside of here, can make it slightly nicer. So wait. Didn't we use the sprite config inside of here? Interesting. Good morning, Finite. Good to see you. For me, it's about lunchtime. For you, it's probably morning, right? You're in the US, I think? Or judging from the accent. 6:15 a.m. You're already awake. Good morning. That's the spirit from TypeScript tea time. that deserves some tea. I clicked the wrong button. Let me go back. Here, have some tea. I think you need it. Although I think you're more of the coffee type, right? Yeah. Thank you. I'm sure you did. And there's no other reason to stand up at 6:15 in the morning. You're more of the coffee type, right? That's fine. As long as it's a hot beverage, I can live with that. So, for whatever reason, I do not need the sprite config here, which confuses me slightly. But we will need it in a second. Kind of like this. I like both coffee and tea, but in the morning, yes, it's mostly coffee. Yeah. I love the aroma of coffee, to be honest. But if I drink too much of it, like 1 cup per day is fine, but or in normal cup. But if I drink a big cup or more than one, my heart starts pounding like hell, and I'm like, you know, Tweet from South Park. That's me, except that I'm about to die if I drink another cup. I don't think we need that one. All we need is scale here, which is a number. And then that should be fine. So we do assert the config here, which interestingly is slightly monster sprites. Oh, I see. I didn't change the TypeScript type, and it lowered it down to the to a version where there's not enough inside. So we might have a scale, and we might have a tint question mark, which is also a number, a hex number, in fact. And we might have an alpha, if I'm not mistaken, which is, I think, a number. And we need the question mark here to make it optional. Wait. These are these guys. I think we're in the wrong one. We don't need you, we need in the monster mapping. Here we go. Oh, that was the tint. That's what we want. And now, what I don't understand is, why do we take monster sprites? I get the same. Limit myself to 1 to 1.5 cups per day. Oh! So you must be very, very disciplined to really stick to that. I've been driving a bit badly with TS types from RxJS. I can imagine. When it comes to functional programming, TypeScript can be a bit bitchy. I remember in 2.3 they finally fixed it, but before that there was basically, TypeScript was completely useless because it dropped all the types. At some point there was a big bug back in the day. But now it's getting better, but it's still hard. TypeScript is definitely not designed for doing functional programming with it, I think. I'm still curious about Haskell, or like, what's it? F#, right? Functional sharp. You can call that as well. gotten better, but there are some issues still with how RxJS has approached it in a few cases. Okay. Can imagine. Yeah, it's definitely, it can be it can be complicated. Let's get this tint down. I just remembered. By the way, did you up here? Do you see the new to-do list? I'm very proud of that. It's actually integrated with Trello. And if you go here, yeah, it's actually public, and you can just look at it and find out what we're actually doing on stream. And it's moving like in the background. It's doing all the Trello stuff right here. So we see that applied tint is here in the to-do column, in the doing column, and that's the green one. And it's also a bit of visioning on the board. So one thing that I wanted, we need to have another to do, flip sprites from if set in JSON, something like that. We need that one. Yeah, one thing that I already noticed is that the doing has to go to the top. It's the most important one, of course. Let me find out what I was actually trying to do here. So we don't want the sprite config. What we want is the monster mapping. So what I actually want is probably the monster mapping. Get sprite key maybe. Yeah, that's it. Get sprite key. We just want get sprite key. Okay. This is what I want to do. Top. So sprite config is actually this little dude. And we have name here, and we have to use config and then map it to config.name equals this dude. And now we've got it. So this might be undefined, which means we have if not the month, probably we call it, let's call it monster config here. Or render props maybe. Yeah, I think that's the most appropriate one, because it's a mapping from the monster's name to let me see, to the rendering, how it should be rendered, like what key it should render, so what sprite it should render, its scale, its what else, or alpha and tint. It's already secure. Well, you still have to provide your own token, right? So if you mean because you do yeah. It's actually online. If you want to check it out, you can find a bug if you like. So where's my GitHub here? GitHub. It actually, all of it is online, so if people want to use it, I also included how to set it up. Let me go jump to Trello to Twitch overlay. Thank you. It can actually be used on any overlay possible. Like I'm using just OBS. You're pro singularity, I'm the finalist. Yeah. I love that about your name. Yeah. Originally, because I'm a mathematician, I was thinking not about the robot singularity. I was thinking about a propagating singularity in terms of algebraic geometric curves. Don't hit me. Yeah. I mean, essentially it means there's you have a smooth surface and then you have like a cusp somewhere on that surface. That's a singularity in terms of math. It comes from finite element analysis. Sweet. Math for the win. I mean, it's numerics, but that still counts as math, I think. Yeah, here it is. I finally found it. Sweet. Yeah, I'm the pro singularity. I didn't create a new account for Twitch. That would be stupid, I think. Yep. Ours were essentially divided by 0 kinds of errors in our models. I can yeah, that's the same. When you have such a cusp, you're essentially locally you're dividing by 0. If you're in the math world, but whatever. Yeah, so this is the overlay. We essentially have all of these commands, and it's pure. Seriously, it's pure JavaScript, which I usually don't write, but in this case I was like, propagating. Singularity cannot really propagate because then it becomes smooth. But if you think about a cusp that starts developing more cusps closer and closer, and then it starts devouring the whole surface and makes it non-nice. And you cannot do anything anymore. Yeah, the code is basically TMI.js, which we're also currently using on for our fun stuff here on stream. I made a mini Trello API, and I do listen to let's see. So this is the fun stuff actually happens here. So we have the TMI client, we populate the state, and then we render it. And then right here we ask whether somebody can use the bot by having this configuration Twitch bot something. So setup is written down here, and somewhere there's this global config.js, which you have to fill in, of course. So for example, your Twitch channel. Where should we actually listen to? Who is allowed to use it? If you want to write, you don't need this. Currently it actually does nothing. I should have deleted it. But this is if you want your Twitch chatbot or your to-do chatbot here to actually say something in the chat, like error, could not find some ID. It actually uses, so if I'm doing !doing, I can use, for example, foreground, and it uses fuzzy matching with Fuse.js to let's see here, to match the correct one. Okay, now it's too large. Unfortunately, it's too large. But we can just move it back. And then we can refresh to-dos, I think. And there we go. Yeah. So if you're interested in that, feel free. It's MIT licensed. I should have included that probably. Yeah. Feel free to use it. I said that on stream, so it counts. Okay, now finally getting back to the let's do this little tint thing. So I don't want to have debug true, yes, but I want to have what? So if we don't have the render props, we say new error, monster mapping not found, let's say. Bams. then we can say, so the short version is this dot set tint, and then we just say render props dot tint, and it can be undefined apparently. Oh yes, it can. Perfect. So that's the very short version. Now the problem is that I clear the tint here again and again. I think I can just stop the debug config. False. And now localhost 8080, yeah. There it is. It's tinted. So if we change the tint here for the Regoran, not a Werber, it's the old bear. If we change the tint here to something like 0x000000, then it should be black. There it is. Perfect. That works. Exclamation mark lurk. Family is starting to wake up. Time to go. Starting breaking back. Yeah, enjoy your breakfast and your morning coffee. Have a good one. So this one works. Done. Now we also want to add the render props inside of this guy here, because we have the scale. Actually, we just want the scale, I think. So we say scale is a number, but it's only maybe a number. If it's not a number, we can just say it's 1. Yeah. And then we say, why is it not? Oh, okay. I incidentally added an S there. So, oops. We want to give the scale here. So if the scale is set, we do want to localize or like normalize to 300 pixels, but after we normalize to 300 pixels, we want to apply then the scale. So what I'm going to do is add it just right here, which means this normalized size, normalized scale factor to essentially 300 gets then scaled down to, like, for example, 0.5 means 150. Or does it make a difference if we do that here or if we do that here? I think it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't, because it's essentially applying it right. If we apply it up here times scale, then it's the same as if we do it right here, which is the same thanks to the rules of math as if we apply it here. So I can, I suppose, just do this. Advance. And now our old bear should be slightly smaller. If he has actually a scale set. He has, but it's 0.5 maybe. Oh, there it is. It's a tiny old bear. Can you see it? It's a tiny blue old bear. Old bears, in fact, look like this. But, well, given the amount of... It's pretty cool. Now I understand why it's called an old bear. It's like a... Oh, what's it called? Ant bear. Ameisenbär. Ant eater. Ant bear. Because it's eating ants. Or I think there's also, at least in German, you have a glasses bear, because it looks like he's wearing glasses. And this one is a bear, which looks like the face of an owl. Ah, I see. They're actually also, I think this kind of version is from Final Fantasy 9 also. Final Fantasy 9. These are also old bears. Oh, I didn't know. Are you a Final Fantasy 9 old bear? they sit on top of trees and help you solve a riddle. Anyway, so our old bear now is 0.9 large, about as large as a human. Sweet. So actually we already have the tint, so exclamation mark done, tint. Bams, exclamation mark. So we have exclamation mark doing the scaling. And we have actually done the scaling. Bams. There we go. What else do we have? We want to have the alpha. That should be easy enough, I think. Which is something like this, dot set alpha, which we just do as render props dot alpha. Save. Now we just have to find a monster which actually uses alpha. I think we have some ghosts inside of here. There, for example, the Revenant, which we can provide bams. And maybe if we're lucky, that's already it. Yep, we did it. I forgot to do the doing. Exclamation mark doing alpha events. That's what we're currently doing, and exclamation mark done alpha. There we go. Why is apply scaling from JSON not cut out? That's interesting. That's a bug. Let me make a screenshot of that. That's definitely a bug. Bug to-dos. What if I refresh it? Refresh to-dos. Nothing happens. Ah, refresh to-dos. I typed it wrong. Now it changed positions, but it basically still says the same. For whatever reason, the middle part is not cut out. Well, that's fine. What else do we have? In our to-do list, we have flip the sprites in JSON. Yeah, that's an important one. Currently, if we have, and it's slightly different, to be honest, because it's happening on the sprite level. We do have some, because I was lazy, we do have some monsters that are actually flipped on the image, so they would look to the left side. So we can, for example, use this one, Hobgoblin here. And if we look at that, let me just verify this fun stuff here. Do we need assert config? No, we don't need it. One goes away. Yeah, that's it. And then what was I about to do? The flipping. If we put this dude here, then he's looking to the wrong direction. He's actually looking away from our adventurers. And that's what we want to change. The problematic part here is that that's actually not part of the render props, because it's not part of the monster object. It's part of the monster specific rendering, but it's just part of the image. So what we want to do probably is monster sprites dot find, and then we say sprite maps to sprite dot key equals this dot texture dot key, So that's the sprite config. And on this level, we now want to say this if sprite config and or question mark dot flip, then this dot flip, I never know which one. Inversed on the horizontal axis. So it's the Y that we want to flip, I think. Look at it! It's a breakdancing hobgoblin. Maybe flip X? Yeah, it's X after all. So it's an X equals 0, which is the Y-axis. We flip it in that direction. And now it's looking at us. And it's actually evil. Evil! So, that's it on that front. This one we don't need anymore, the to-do. Do we have any other to-dos, by the way? Git clone to-do. Whatever. To-dos, that's fine. We have some configurations to check apparently, but that's fine. And then add a debug config. That's what I have. Right there. Perfect. Meaning, I think we're done with that one as well. Yeah, whatever, we can push that one. But we don't want to change this part here. False. And now that's about it, right? So currently, by the way, we are working on flip. And that's what we just did. So episode 22, I think. What episodes are we actually in? Episode 22 apparently. So we have add flip, we have flip, alpha, then tint, and we have scale from essentially JSON, or let's say data driven. Yeah, let's just say from JSON, from config file, maybe like that. Okie dokie. And that's exclamation mark. Apparently, which doesn't like it if I hit exclamation mark in the wrong. In the wrong place, I don't know. Exclamation mark done. Exclamation mark done. Flipping. Events. And what's the last one that we have there? So far so good. I mean, that was pretty much a lot of progress in a very short time. So good job, everybody. So for those who just joined, we are developing a little game which we can actually play from Twitch chat. So if you say hi in the Twitch chat, we can play around together. Otherwise I will just continue here. And the rules are fairly simple. So you have this monster on the right side which you want to defeat. It gets automatically picked most of the time. So currently for debugging or development we fix it, but we could, for example, use this quasit. bams. There we go. Apparently the quasit is not yet set. I think there's a... nice. We fixed another bug. There it is. This little worm thingy. I think it's missing eyes. Looking at it, but whatever. Yeah, so if we actually play around, we start essentially by me typing !ambush into the chat, and then we get one randomly picked monster on this side together with its health, and then we can join the battle by typing !join into the chat, and people, like everybody starts joining into this, and we then fight the monster in a kind of turn-based battle system. We can attack, the monster can attack, then we can attack, then the monster can attack again. The monster actually just has like every 30 seconds it just attacks, and then our part actually gets reset and we can attack again. We can also do other actions which are not yet implemented but on the roadmap, which, for example, healing each other, because all of the progress is actually persisted, including your HP as well as the XP that you gain in the fight, your experience points. So you level up, and then you get stronger, and then you defeat more enemies, and you get stronger, and you level up, and so on. The good old skinner box. But maybe not as much. Yeah, that's the basic idea. All of that we did build on stream, all of it, except now for me filling in 150 of these monsters. You can see here down below, I still have a list of a lot that are not finished yet, but apparently about 190, except for me, probably it's just 170, and I just cannot calculate. We have for every single one a somewhat unique-ish image. Every single monster. Our adventures, we also have like, I don't know, 13, 14 maybe different adventurers. And I did start adding some animation, but I'm terrible at it. So the images are in the public domain actually. If you want to use them, feel free. You can find all of that in the acknowledgement. All of the images actually are. So what's our next issue? We have that sprites in the background get covered by the foreground. Okay. Let's reproduce that issue maybe. So if we add a lot of adventurers here, then we see, for example, this dude here. He was added later than that one. And that's why he's on top, which is kind of annoying, and it looks terrible, right? Then it's not really realistic. Usually if you have the perspective, whatever is in the foreground should kind of cover the background, like my face here, or if I do it like this, my left hand is in the background and thus covered by the other one. And we can do that independent of the position of the order in which we add things. To do that, we have just like in CSS essentially, we have a Z index, I think. Or is it index? There was I definitely remember there was something like that. Now we just have to find the right one. Center, top, tint. Is it just Z origin? No. Depth. It's the depth. And one thing that is good for us is we have this random position, which means, so depending on the Y position, we know that whatever is down below is usually also in the front. Yep. Whatever is lower is also more in the front. And what has a, what is it then? The higher the lower the y coordinate. Y0 is up here in the top left, and then it goes down to I don't know, 1000 or something, depending on the screen size. So we can just set the depth to exactly the y coordinates, I think, and then we kind of have a very natural, very much in the background and very much in the foreground listing. So which means we can just do this. And we have to do it for the name as well. This dot set depth, like so. And the adventurer name as well. Where is it? Here. This dot set depth. This dot y, not this dot, this dot y is wrong. We want the followed dot y. Also here. So followed position in this case is the object that we're following. In the case of the adventurer health bar, that's the adventurer. Let me maybe rename this so that we actually have it consistent with the adventurer name here. We can also make this one read only, I think. And I think that's about it for the adventurer, at least. What is it? Oh, we have two. There's one important part here. The health bar actually consists of two parts. So one is so we render first the empty health bar, and then on top of that, or maybe vice versa, we render partially the full health bar, and that's why we have to set this twice, one for the empty one and one for the filled one. Followed dot y, there we go, and that should do it. It does indeed, and yeah, it does indeed. It kind of is hard to read. Yeah, it kind of gets hard to read now, but let's see. So far we don't really use the name. We might need to change the name somewhat. Not sure how we want to do that. But that's about it. We also need to do this for the monster, I think. Monster. And this guy should just always be in the top. On the top. But I don't think any of our characters can actually jump that high, so it should be fine. We have the monster here, and then we say this dot. Where is its position actually set? Its position is just here. Okay, perfect. So we can just say this dot set depth this dot y. And that's it. Even if when the monster now attacks us, I think we can actually do that if we do true here. Debug attack. Yeah. We should now see that it should be kind of behind this dude. Whom did it actually attack? Okay, this person back here. It's jumping slightly too far. Maybe we reduce the factor kind of to 0.7 and make our animation actually slightly nicer. Pew. There we go. Did it actually do something? The T value? Yeah, it does. Pew, pew, pew. Because now I get it. What's going wrong here? I think it's because the name is assumed to be unique in our main scene. And currently we kind of have this. So let's do maybe something like this. Or let's say range of config.adventurers for each I maps to add an adventurer, and we instead call it interesting, my one shortcut doesn't work anymore. And we call him Amazing Adventurer I, $I. What does the 300 actually mean? It's his max HP, okay. Or her max HP. So, like that, and then the range is a function which essentially counts from, or gives you an array from 0 to n, whichever number you give it. And now we can say adventurers, I see, debug def adventurers, say 5. Def enabled true. If config.def.enabled, then range config.def.adventurers, and add an adventurer for each person. So now we should see, how many do we have? We have 5. 1, 2, 3. We need to take -1. There we go. Zero, 1, 2, 3. No, now it's just 4, huh? Yeah, now we're at 5. Okay. Now it's fine. Maybe shall we do +1 here? There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Sweet. So now what I actually wanted to test is where we are working on right or foreground, that one. If I do a debug and attack here, the monster should be covered by these characters. Pew. Yes, it was covered by all of these characters. Sweet. Now I remember. The debug attack actually does nothing. It does not attack anyone, it just moves to this one position. if I'm not mistaken. Where's my monster? Monster, come here. Debug attack. Well, it does attack something. But essentially it's just animating. Yeah. Essentially it's just animating to this one specific position. Bamps. Sweet. That said, I think we did it. We did set depth for a lot of things. And that's pretty much it. I need to disable def again. Oops, my bad. for committing. Enabled faults, and also this little dude here, faults. Webams. Now everything is empty again and everything is fine. So what we did is episode 22 fix foreground character chars get covered by later, oh god, covered by later edit by sprites edit later. Done, which means we are actually through with our episode. if you want to say it like that. We are of course not really through, but we do have done a lot already. So we have, I think, done this tinting, we have scaling, we have alpha, we have this bug done. We have one more bug actually on the backend side when the party actually dies. It's an important one. But for now, let's do this little dude here. So, my bad. Did the wrong command there. Done foreground, and now we do exclamation mark. So to everybody who joined, let's see, where's my image. This is what we're currently developing. All of it is controlled by you in the chat. All of these characters, the monster of course is an evil overlord monster blob. But just now we basically added like, oh wow, way too many monsters. And some more are actually to come. We still have the chance actually on the back end side. So maybe we enable that, disable that for now. Code dot. So the monsters are here in the monsters.json. So the source of truth is the backend, by the way. All of it is on the backend. And the last one that we have here is the rock. Rock, a very large bird. And as of then, we kind of ignore everything. Suppose we just do this for now. I guess. Monster. Or let's do it like this. We do it like this, and we say export monsters dot export const monsters equals monster data dot. Or let me find const index equals monster data dot find index of what he says, except that we use the rock. And then we limit, in other words, we slice the monster data from 0 to the index +1, because it slice excludes the end. And I think with this we should have only, so if we do console dot, we log monsters at position monsters.length -1, we should see that this is the rock. Monsters. Let me just start this here for a second, and then we see it's the rock, and we know everything is fine. Sitting mixed. Oh, there it is. Perfect. Sweet. Experience. Okay, whatever. So that worked. To do add or update as new monster sprites are added. Save. Bams. Yep. What did we do? We say E22, we say, in a sense, it's a fix. I would consider it a fix. Do not display monsters without config. Oh, render props. Like that. Okie dokie. So, next up is, I would say, we start adding, let me see, two things that I want to do. The first thing is I actually want to say to do render doing on at the top, and the next one is to do, and that's, yeah, and the next one is randomize background. And what we are going to do first is render doing. There we go. So to do that, we just open a new Visual Studio Code, and I go into my give me just a second here. I will open the project. We go into the code for a second, and then where do we re-render here? Here we populate the states, we render right there. And all I want to do is have this guy on top, then the to-do nodes, and then the done nodes. And that should be about it. Now if I go to OBS and just refresh, that was stream elements, I guess. Goodbye, chat. I just reloaded the stream elements chat, and that's why you cannot see the yeah, incidentally re-rendered or refreshed maybe the stream elements overlay, and that's why it's now gone. But now we have the to-do thing, and also inside of here I think we have a thing, we somewhere over the ocean we have index, we have like this. I don't think we need it, do we? Interestingly, we have like a CSS error there. Do we have a margin top somewhere? margin, top margin. Interesting. That won't fix it. Well, yes, we have this little space there in between. That's fine. As long as we have a list of what we're actually doing, I'm fine with it. So now render is always on top. Even if I add another to do test me, yeah, it's added below. Perfect. And then we can say, well, that's done, I guess. Test me is done, and also done. On top. That one worked. Exclamation mark done. Test. Why do you not re-render, my friend? Weird. Well, let's just remove it. Exclamation mark refresh. Refresh. Use. And there we go. Now, doing. We do some background. I think we can actually do some fuzzy search magic here and say BG and it finds still background. Nice, nice, nice. Let me just for a second rehydrate here, because talking all the time definitely does make your mouth dry after some time. So, what do I mean by randomized backgrounds? Currently, our background looks like this, right? Which is fine and it looks great, but doesn't quite fit all the time. The one thing that I do want to do is, which we already have essentially, all we need to do is, for example, change this number to have all of a sudden a desert fight or snow fight and another wood, but more of a green wood. Or what else do we have? Like a, actually don't know. It's kind of a cave, but it also has like this stuff here. Maybe it's a road? Maybe. We have number 10. We do have number 10 also. And number 11, I don't think we have number 11. No, number 11 is empty. What is interesting is whether we have number 0. We don't. Okay. But from there, we can actually work with this, I think. For example, by just saying, okay, yeah, this dot loan sounds good. Or we say, again, a range. We want to go from 1 to 10. 1 to 10. Dot for each. Yes. We say this dot load. This dot load dot image. What he says. Oh, where did I delete now? Oh. Like so. That didn't work. Save. Why do you not do the thing? Okay. Is it missing? Ah, okay, yeah. It's missing a bracket. Parenthesis. That's why. Okay. Perfect. And now if we have our number I here, we can just do... Why is my keyboard shortcut broken? Keyboard shortcuts, bracketeer. swap okay. I and like so. And that's it already. Now we also have to, so we not only need to load it on the, like as an asset. Let me close my window for a second. All right. Here we go again. We not only need to load it as on an asset level, we also need to include it into the game, of course. So this just means Phaser will do an XHR request to the backend and fetch the image so we can use it, and then make it available under this key bg1. And we can now include it like here. So in this case, we said new background image bg1, and here we can just say for example, a random number. So we don't need this, huh? Well, yeah, let's stick with it for now. We say random, my bad. And we say, what do we need? From 0 to, from 1 to 10. Is that it? Minimum, maximum. And I always forget whether the maximum is actually included or not. But I think that's already it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Nice! And there is nothing. Interesting. Which one is this? Let's look at the console. We actually see that bird spearman has not been found. What do we want with bird spearman? Bird spearman. Because it's a pikeman. Okay. So that was one error. But that was not the background as an error, which confuses me slightly. I have not yet seen number 10, which means random does not actually include the last number again. What actually is number 10? Let me see right here. So if we save this here for a second and stage it, and stage this guy as well, and maybe this little fix that we also did, we put a 10 here. What do we actually see? Nothing. Oh. Now that's interesting, because we do say, give me a range from 0 to 10. And we do have battle background number 10. Let me close all the monsters here for a second. There it is. Number 10. See it? Up to every pixel. You should see it. It cannot find number 10. But it's also not saying that it cannot find number 10, which is weird. That's what confuses me. BG. What if we say 10 here and 10 there? Now it should at least find something. Now it finds it. Console.log I. What did I just do? My bad. No, we do want you. No, what are you doing? Linda does weird things. Why is it? So the end is not included. But not including end. Okay, I see. That's what I wanted to know. And then we can remove this bracket again. Can you? Thank you. There we go. And now inside of here should be fine by doing this. And we should see the green garden, apple garden of Eden from time to time. If I reload this often enough. It does load quite some time by now, because it always loads all the assets. Yeah, there it is. Perfect. And also no errors so far. Sweet, I would say. Nice-o-matico. Which means we're actually done, I think. I of course have to commit all of this fun stuff. So we do have random there. We do have 11 right there. That's already it. But that was easy enough. Bams, bams, bams. We can say, well, randomize background. That one we did. Choose background according to enemy area. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. That what we want to do? I mean, it would be nice, but it also would be kind of boring if I'm not mistaken. Let me just go into the server here once more. And because up on the top, we can see the data in a CSV format. And down here we see the area. City, dungeon, 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 other plane, forest, nature, other plane, underground, water. And I think for now it's fine if we just ignore that amount, that data. Don't you think? Just saying, okay, yeah, everything is good. Then we just cancel this guy. Oops. There we go. Yeah, I think that's fine. I think that's enough. So episode 22, we did add something and we did randomize the backgrounds. Bams. There we go. Now, let's see what it actually looks like currently. Bams. This is what I'm talking about. Or like this, with bams. The health bars are slightly annoying, to be honest. But look at it. It's coming to life. It's definitely coming to life. Sweet. Very nice, very nice. I think we can make this area slightly larger in which we actually show our characters and place them. By doing this and then saying, give me a randomized position between, well, let's say 150 here, which is up there, then slightly more to the top is fine, I think. Which means we do we have done background and we are now in a new to do, which is more adventurer based. Match what doing base. So let's see. They kind of go up to the center, which is, I find, a good position. Maybe we can. Oh, I find that one to be actually pretty good. What we can, however, do, make them more to the front. And when we do that, exclamation mark to do, perspective scale images in so up to height divided by, I don't know, 6 maybe. Did it change anything? Oh, you know, the wrong info. Is actually already working? Yeah, it should have recompiled. Set random position. Oh, wait. We need to go up. This needs to be a larger number. There we go. This looks better. Oh, that's too much, I think. Or is it? Yeah, it is too much. So maybe third? Yeah. I think this works. It's still weird that it clusters it up. At least in my human brain. It's still clustering it up, but well, this one looks actually pretty nice. And it actually also has kind of a formation feeling to it, which is pretty cool. Except that the sword characters are actually in the back and the magic characters in the very front. But that's just how you do it in this world, maybe. That looks pretty good. I like it. I like it. So now one more thing now. So we have done more space, and now we doing yeah. There we go. This is going to be a fun one because now we're doing some math. We set the scale of the character. This dot set scale, and we make it dependent on scale factor. We make it dependent on the y coordinate. So the y coordinate is somewhere between 150 and scale height third, right? So if we do if we do scene.scale.height third minus 150. So that's the maximum scale that we have, right? What do we want? So the 150 is just a shift, huh? Oops. Oh, it's a 500, sorry. This one is important. Actually, we can move that one up as well, slightly. I suppose. I was looking at the X coordinate there all over the time. And again, reloaded the wrong window. Yeah, I think 500 is good. 500 looked fine. Okay, so let's see. We take 1/3 of the... Ah, this describes the right rectangle, huh? Yeah, it's a rectangle. Area that we described, with this one being the left upper area, so it's kind of going about halfway. And then we make it like one scene, 1/3 of a scene height area in which we are allowed to spawn. That means I think we take this one because it's already a div, and we take this dot y minus 500 divided by that one, not minus minus. What is this number? I think, oh, we need these braces, these parentheses. These are important. And now I only want a single adventurer in here. So this one is 0.12, which means very far in the back. If we get one down here, it should be the number should be larger. Yeah. That looks good. We can maybe scale by 1 plus this number. And then we do this one times scale factor. And that should give us an interesting effect. Oh no, wait. Maybe just plus 0.5. Plus scale factor. I'm not sure where the 0.5 is coming from. So what I'm thinking of is a linear interpolation again. We're now trying to solve essentially for the factor that we have. And what I want is that when you are here in the front, you get rendered larger. When you are in the back, you get rendered smaller. But doesn't really work that way. Maybe if we do 2 times all of that. Ah, because I'm doing plus here. Okay. Then I come back and all of the things are crossed off the list. Yeah, it was a simple one. Because the infrastructure was already there. But we still have we have new stuff, and I also fixed the bug that, or not the bug, but the design issue that the to-do lists to-do is actually not on, or doing is not actually on the top. What I'm currently trying to do is actually doing some perspective here, bringing some perspective into it. So when your character is closer to the camera, it should be rendered larger, and if it's farther in the back, it should be rendered smaller. But that's actually not as simple as I thought, or maybe it is. Did we do it? Look at the background, by the way. Oh. Welcome back, by the way. I mean, it does work in a sense, except that it's also funny that we have 3 times the same character by randomness. Out of 21 different characters, we grab the same one 3 times. I mean, it does work in the sense that, well, if you are in the front, you get rendered larger, but the problem is nobody sees you in the back. Now. And the scaling is slightly too... How does human scaling work? Is it linear, or is it kind of exponential? So as you move closer, the scale increases exponentially. It's linear, okay, which makes sense. Yeah. If you look at, otherwise you would see. You're right. It's linear. Otherwise, if you stand on train tracks, they would go like this, and not just. Remember, you're acting at an isotropic view, so the actual scaling is going to be less than you'd think. Complicated. It's complicated. Is our error? There's just a tiny one in the back. It looks so tiny. Little guy. Yeah. In other words, linear scaling, but a small scaling factor. Linear scaling, but it's more. I'm also not sure whether my function is actually correct here. You take the top area. It's basically a gradient, huh? Take the top area minus the 1, and then you divide by the. Oh, it's an okay. Now I see what you mean by isometric view. We're kind of looking from above a tree. We're not just looking at them from straight. Let's maybe look at isometric. Maybe let's look at Tokyo. What's it called? Square. I mean, you want a high level of, well, do I? Tokyo Square apparently is also, yeah, this is the one. Shibuya from this picture. I actually want exactly this picture, but I want to have it in like nice. Because it's I think the most known isometric view that I have. Man, that's very skew, I guess. This is also an isometric view. I don't know who these people are. Apparently that's Tokyo Square. That's interesting. So if you look at it, I think this is too much. Let's not add it. Even the width of the crosswalk is the same, and measure the height of the crosswalk at the top and bottom of them. Yeah, I think it's too much. Let's just not do it. It's just too complicated. We did increase the space in which people can spawn, but I think I leave it at that. I think I leave it at that. And instead focus on more interesting stuff. the white string was not visible right there in the snow. It's also hard to read in here. Anyway, yeah, we kind of have a lot of monster now. For example, and I think we can just randomize it, huh? Let's see. We take the we take random. Let's see. We take monsters. Oh, I have an idea. We just put a function in here. Export const random monster config equals. It is a function and it returns what he says. Don't think we need that one. I don't know why he came up with that. Is it not called monsters? What's your name? Come on here. Monster mapping. Okay. Monster mapping. Monster mapping, mastered flow, mastered random, whatever. Times monster.length, which is monster mapping.length. And actually I just want to say random of this dude. Monster mapping, why do you not say bracket expected? Is that it? Yeah, okay, now we've got it. Turn. Where did all the code come from? You mean this? It's not code, it's only configuration. No? What then? You mean this part? Which file? When you prototyped out that... I have the generous offer to be part of Copilot, GitHub Copilot. And it's doing its thing. Yeah, for example, if we do age, history, here HTML, span. I don't know why it comes up with this currently. Yeah, it's GitHub Copilot. It's pretty amazing and scary and amazing. And did I already say scary? But here, there we go. Goblin. That sounds good. What we currently want is a random monster configuration dot. Oh, wait, does it? Dot name. It's a return value. Okay, perfect. Now we see a new monster every time. Periton, zombie. Drow priestess. I suppose this one does not have a... Because that's a fallback, yeah. It does not have a key yet. I don't even know what a drow is, I think. Okay. It's a dark elf. I see. So probably we want to give this one the outlaw. And you as well, and so on. Anyway, if we reload, come on. There we go. Smoke method, which also has this alpha applied. And the remoraz, which is actually a pretty scaring thing. Remoraz. I definitely don't want to hit that one in real life. Definitely don't want to meet that one. It's amazing. I learned a lot about DnD characters and DnD monsters here, actually. The tri-drone and the duo drone. Why does it take exactly the one before that? The griffin and an oni, which is the English Japanese word for demon, and a 3D, which is kind of a goblin thing, a sprite, a sprite thing. Yes, let's put in sprite. I mean, this guy. Do they still sell it? Yeah, right? They do. I haven't seen it in a while. Let's put in that one. Or Quartal? I think it's from Quetzalcoatl. The feathered serpent from Maya culture. But yeah. Fire giant is pretty gigantic. Very happy about the results so far. I said we're not going to do the perspective, so let's throw that one out. Refresh to-dos. Bams, there it is. Then what did I actually do now? I have this little random thing. Then we have E22 update more space for adventurers to spawn. There we go. Sweet. Interested in playing around? A spirit naga. Ooh. Pop-up devil. Man, it's coming to life. I think then the next thing, yeah, I don't know. Sounds would be interesting, to be honest. We also have still have this bug on the backend. Some backend stuff now, disallowing joining twice, which is also backend, I think. Moving and healing, it's also partially backend, but these are actually also front end. On and clear, I don't want to do that one so far. And other than that, we have some stuff in our one dev GUI to rule them all. Yeah, that's a nice thing, but let's not do that. Idle animation. I can show the animations that I did add, maybe. And you tell me what you think about it, whether it's terrible or whether it's useful. What I need to do that is actually, how do I export it then? Oh, I might get into trouble with the sprite format. So the animation is just a very simple idle animation for a couple of characters. I think this one does have one. Kind of, it's bumping up and down. And there's one more. This guy is wiggling with his sword. And there's another one moving who's kind of, I don't know, breathing very heavily. And the question is, if I export that now, how does it actually export that? Visible layers, output file. Open sprite sheet? No. JSON data? Ah, okay. So it's not exporting it in the format that I want it to. It's just putting the images after each other, which is far from what we want. So I probably have to go over that one again. Don't know exactly what I need to do there. Well, nothing to fret about. If one of you guys is very, very good, or just somewhat okay, because that's better than me, in doing some animation, simple idle animations, feel free to reach out, or just type, no, yeah, I want to do it. And then, I don't know, yeah, just having some animations for these would lighten this up, I think, greatly. But, well, it's a lot of work doing animations, and it needs a lot of practice to do even okay-ish animations, which look more than just crumpy. Yeah, but for now, I think we are at a point where I say that's fine. And tomorrow we do backend stuff, I suppose. That also marks an okay-ish cut in the stream, I think, for today. If you've liked it, please leave a like or follow. I think Twitch doesn't even have likes. You can only follow on that. Yeah, if you liked it, please leave a follow. If you are still there and you want to play around, say, I want to play around now, otherwise I will end the stream right here. With this nice little thumbnailish thing. Maybe we reload 1 or 2 more times so that we have a nice formation. This one looks, but it's again the, come on, it's a very small one. Why is everybody standing so far in the back? Oh, that was a very giant one. This one looks good. Well, almost. With this, I thank each and every one of you to spend some time with me. It was a pleasure. Thank you in particular, Finite, for joining in again. Hope your breakfast was good. And yeah, with that, we see each other next time. We can try to rate somebody if anybody is online. Let's look at the live coders. Here, is anybody online? Imbudo, I think he's doing French. Oh, is he? No. Imbode, probably. Imbode. There we go. And then we rate. And then I thank each and every one of you. Have a great one. Good job again. And see you next time tomorrow at 1800 GMT +2. Bye bye.